Alright, I was asked to make a video to help with some of these percent problems. So I'm going to first do 60% of 110. So I've started a percent diagram. I've cut it into, basically, I've got 0%, 100%, and the 110 is here. Halfway through is be 50%, but I need 60%. So I'm actually going to split this up so that it's got 10 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so 60% would be right here. So this is 60%, and the remaining portion is 40%. And I need to figure out this amount. So a quick way to do that is to figure out what 10% is. 10%, sorry, this is what I'm trying to figure out. 10%, you always just move the decimal over one place, which makes it really easy. So 10% of 110 is 11. So once I know what 10% is, I can just now multiply it by how many sets of 10% I have. I have 6 of them here because it's 60%. So I can just do 6 times 11, which is 66. And so I know that 60% of 110 is 66. Okay, and then obviously you can figure out the rest by just subtracting 110 minus 66, and you'll get that answer. Another way to do it, if you don't want to draw this picture, is whenever you see the word of, that means to multiply. So this is one way to do it. A second way to do it would be just turn 60% into a decimal by moving that decimal back 2 places. So 0.6 of means to multiply, and then you're going to do 110, and that will get you your answer. Now, to set this up, you might need to set it up into one of the multiplication problems like this. 6 times 0 is 0, and then 6, and then 6. And then you count how many decimal places you have in total. There's only 1, so I would go in 1 place. And so my answer is 66. So that's another way to do this same problem. Now, what if the problem is 74 is 40% of what number? So you don't have the total. Like this one, we had the total. What if we have this number and we have to get that number? So I did it with a different problem since that one we already knew the answer to. So you can set up one of those percent diagrams if you want. I'll show you how to do this one a couple of ways as well. 100%, and then halfway would be here, so 40% is about to here. So that's saying 40% is the 74, or 74 is 40% of what number? So this is the number we don't know up here. The remaining is 60%, and of course we could figure out the rest, but we probably won't spend time doing that right now, but you could. Once you have this and this, you can always subtract to get that. So again, you can do 74. This is 40%. So you can split 74 up into 4 to figure out how much is 10%. So 4 goes into 7 one time with, sorry, I should have not put that 4 right there. One time, subtract, you get 3, bring down the 4. 4 goes into 34, 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36, so not 9 times. 8 times, I meant to say. And you get 32. 2, put a decimal, 0, bring that down. 4 goes into 25 times. So 10% because I split it up 74 into 10% because there's 4 of them. 10% would be 18.5. So now you can just do 18.5 times 10, right? Because there's 10% in 100, which when you do 18.5 times 10, nice thing about multiplying by powers of 10 is you can just move that decimal over one place. So the total is 185. Okay, so that's one way to do it. This is way number 1. Okay, another way to do it is to turn this, if it's easy to scale this up to 100, you could do it that way. So a second way would be to say 74 is 40%, and I'm going to think about what giant one I multiply that by to get 70, to get what this missing amount over 100, because that'd be 100%. So 40 times 2 is 80, and then another half of 40 is 20. So another half of 40, or 20 is a half of 40, so I can put 0.5. So if I multiply this by a giant one of 2.5 over 2.5, I'll get what it's out of 100. So then I can do 74 times 74, 74 plus an additional half, which is 35, 6, 7. You would get the answer, which is 185. You can do that math on your own, 74 times 2.5. Okay, and then the last way, a third way to do this problem would be to just set this up in a word problem. I just turn all of these words into letters or math symbols or variables. So I would do 74 is always equal sign. 40% turned into a decimal is 0.4, so I would put 0.4. Of is multiply what number? If I don't know the number, I put an X. Okay? Then I can solve this equation. Undo multiplication, you do division. So if I divide this by 0.4, those will go away, but I have to also divide this by 0.4. So if I divide 74 by 0.4, I'll get my answer of 185. And you can see that division problem here, except I had it as 4, so that's how I got the decimal. But if I put a 0.4, then that decimal would end up moving out, and you would get the same answer. So that's 3 different ways to solving this problem.